Yo, what up, guys? Blizaar here. This is champion guide or champion spotlight for Blizaar the Howler. He will always be remembered in the raid community as the one we got for free, the December 2023 fusion, usually themed with the season, right? All snowy and icy like their previous one. So those December fusion are always memorable. In this video, since I got that champion in December 2023, this is already March. I have not used him. I've built him, mastered him, everything, but I've not used him in any content. In this video, I want to dedicate it to exploring this champion's full abilities, where he can help my end game account. I've been playing for over 4 years by now. So Blizaar the Howler, will he help me in my teams? I'll show him how I built him, testing it out in some battles and so on. So that's full disclaimer. Usually I do these videos and champion guides about champions I've been using for long, a year or two, and I tell you about where I'm using them. This one, I want to see how we can put into my team and explore. So let's learn together. If you're just getting this champion from a shard, congrats. He's not a trash champion. If he's a trash champion, I won't build it or even put my resources on him. So that's what I think. When we checked him out in December, we knew his skills were going to be useful somewhere. But where? Let's find out. His A1 is going to be placing a freeze. He does it 3 times. So any champion that hits 3 times, the only thing that comes to our mind, first of all, is Fire Knight. Fire Knight had to be specific because fine, the normal Fire Knight level 1 to 20, 25, triple hit is also nice for that type of content, because when you hit those Fire Knights with a champion who has 3 hits, you have a chance of taking the shield down faster, especially when you have other champions like Apothecary and others coming in for that battle. We'll try it out in battle to see his A1 helping out in the Fire Knight. So that's already good, a triple hit on the A1. Now, each hit has a 40% chance of placing freeze. Now, that's where the Fire Knight hard mode comes into play right now. If you're trying to beat Fire Knight hard mode 1 all the way to 10, you will need champions who can place freeze on their A1 or passive. So that's where he also helps with that type of Fire Knight content. So immediately we saw this champion, we saw that raid has created a problem with Fire Knight hard mode. People didn't have a champion to take care of it. So they are creating solutions, and he is one of those solutions for Fire Knight hard mode who has freeze on an A1. It's pretty clear A1 right here. Yes, this is going to be a detailed guide, so I have to really understand his skills so I know where to use him. So fine, I'll be talking about the Fire Knight in his A1, but hopefully his other skills can help us use him in other content. Removes any stun, sleep, through fear, freeze, provoke, and petrification debuffs from all allies. So if your allies has anything that is going to control them, crowd control as they call it, he will just remove it. It's on a 3-turn cooldown when you spend books on this skill. Yes, I have fully booked him, so my own will be on a 3-turn cooldown. He also places increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. So it seems like this is a support champion. It feels that way because his A1 is hitting 3 times, but this skill does not hit. Usually when I see a skill that does not hit, that means that skill will do no damage on the enemies. It's just going to help our allies. Place increased defense, remove any control debuffs from them, and also place ally protection. That's where newer players will immediately take this champion into the clan boss. Because if you know anything about the clan boss, increased defense and ally protection are 2 buffs that you need on in killable teams, I mean. So if you don't have a Manita or Demeter doing block damage for you, ally protection and increased defense is the best way to do the Demon Lord clan bot right here. So that's where he's going to be useful. Ally protection for newer players. You are not yet beating Fire Knight hard mode. Take him into the clan boss, build him in survivor set obviously, and let him tank the damage through ally protection. All your allies will take less damage when he's placing that ally protection on them. I might not try the the clan boss battle, but we'll see this skill in full effect in a dragon run or in a dungeon run in general. It works the same way. Our allies will be taking damage, and he's soaking up that damage from this ally protection. Let's see the A3. Attacks all enemies, 75% chance of placing freeze. That's an AoE freeze for 1 turn. Sad. Usually you want stun, fear, or provoke as a way of controlling the enemies. When you place freeze on enemies, the amount of damage you do to them will be reduced by a percentage. So it's not like you do full damage to them anymore. Once enemies are under freeze, they take less damage. That's why freeze is not an efficient way of controlling enemies, but there are areas where it will be useful, like the spider. You need to freeze or control those spiderlings as you slowly burn them. The more you burn them, the more the spider queen or self take damage. So that's always useful. And yeah, so it seems like this champion is not just a Fire Knight champion like we saw in the A1. We're seeing this A2 is telling us that he's a clan boss champion or general tank champion. Now his A3 is telling us he's also good in the spider or other content where you need to control a bunch of waves. So he will help us on any wave content where we need to control them if we don't mind the decreased amount of damage that our allies will be doing to the enemies when they are under freeze. He also has a 75% chance of placing of decreasing the turn meter of all enemies by 30%. 30% turn meter decrease is huge. That's after it places the freeze, obviously, so their turn meter will even be reduced. Therefore, the freeze will not run off so quick. So we might even take 2 turns and nuke them down twice before they get 1 turn, while they lose 1 turn while under freeze. That's an amazing skill that you want to spend books on it to be on a 3-turn cooldown. So it's a 100% chance of landing it. Nice one. His spirit affinity, obviously, so when you come against magic affinity, he will not be able to have a 100% consistency of placing this freeze on his A3 or A1. So take note of that. On the passive effect, he has 2 types of passive or active one. Whenever an enemy tries to place freeze debuff on this champion, I can figure out where is that going to happen. Arena, that's where I see enemies trying to place freeze off, or faction wars, some bosses try to place freeze. Whenever an enemy tries to place freeze debuffs on this champion, instantly transfers it from this champion to that enemy. So this is arena skill. That's the only thing I can think of. Maybe some Doom Tower waves do have freeze, or the one of those Doom Tower bosses that places freeze a lot. So, but it's on a 3-turn cooldown, so this is not an effective way of dealing with freeze that is coming to you. So it's not that he deals it with other allies, it's just the one coming to him gets back to the enemy. 3-turn cooldown when booked. Instantly transfers it from this champion to that enemy. It's not that effective. I feel like this is more going to be used in arena than PvE content. Whenever this champion is killed, revives them by 30% HP, 30% turn meter, and places revive on death buff on them for 1 turn. So this is going to keep him alive. So he's a tank champion, ally protection, increased defense. He kills himself, and then by taking all those damage that is coming from the ally protection, and he brings himself back to life, and also places revive on death. It's good. This means that you might not need a reviver. Normally when you have a tanky champion, you need a revive champion to always go with them. So when they go down, you revive them again. Like a UDK or something, one of those tanky champions that cannot keep themselves alive with their skills or heal. But you can always build a champion like this in a bunch of artifacts that will keep him alive. So what am I looking like? Increased defense and ally protection. Freeze. That means this champion does need accuracy. So I'm thinking accuracy and defense. Accuracy and defense. Those are the 2 priority stats before you can even think about speed, HP, and all that. Accuracy and defense. That's what I'm going to be building on this champion. So Ogrin Trials faction, he'll definitely be an MVP, although that faction already has a lot of good champions right here. So that's his skills. Hopefully reading out his skills like this makes us understand where we're going to use this champion. Let's show you how I built him. First of all, I have him 4-star ascended because of they gave it to us through a event or something, and that's my artifact that I put on him. Why did I build this artifact on him? I'll also be recommending some early game ones. First of all, let's talk about the early game ones before we talk about the end game build. Early game players, you've seen a tanky champion. We know that he needs defense. So if you have a 2-piece set of this, you don't have to have a 4-piece set or 6-piece set defense. Just 2 like this, boots and chest, is okay for him. So any stats that will boost his defense will be awesome. If you're super early game, just put 1 set or 2 sets or 3 sets of life artifacts on him, even if he doesn't need HP. I feel like people have a lot of life sets than defense sets. So that's an early game one. I always recommend for early game builds before I talk about the end game. More early game builds, those at least who are currently trying to beat the dragon or even clan boss, I'll refer you to the lifesteal. In the early game, every champion you have on your roster needs to be in lifesteal. You cannot go wrong with that for an early game, especially if this champion is going to help you in your clan boss as your ally protection and an increased defense champion. If that's the role he's playing in your teams, put him in lifesteal. He needs to keep himself alive one way or the other with some hits on the clan boss if you have War Master on him. Now, for more early game survivor stats, one that is even better, far more better than lifesteal, if you can get it done, is going to be Let me see, Stalwart set. This one makes him take less damage from the AoE hits that are coming from the clan boss. For if you have some more sustain coming in from some other allies on the team, he can be in a Stalwart set and take less damage. Super useful. So that's what you're going to use this champion for in the early game. So Stalwart, lifesteal, defense sets, anything. But if you're lucky enough to go into the forge and forge some those what do you call these things now, resilience, it gives him a lot of HP and defense, so you cannot go wrong with a tanky champion. For an early game build, these artifacts can be gotten for free even if they are 4-star at that early stage. So now that we are done with the early game builds, let's talk about some more advanced end game builds for those players who are obtaining this champion in the end game. And you don't need him for the clan boss, you need him for maybe for the Fire Knight like we talked about, and maybe for the Hydra especially, or yeah, he does ally protection and increased defense. Of course, freeze doesn't help you in the Hydra, and maybe for dungeon runs where I will test out some battles. So let me see how I build this champion. First of all, you see that I put him in a protection set. What we know about protection set, if you click the eye icon right here, it tells you all the things that protection set can do for you according to how many you have on the champion. So I gave him six protection set. That means I want that 50% chance to place a protected buff. That's the only reason why I put it on him. So why do I need to protect my buffs? Because there are people, there are enemies who want to steal your buffs from you. They want to steal that increased defense. They want to steal that ally protection that is placing on his allies. It doesn't matter whether you're using him in the arena or against the Hydra heads. There are enemies who want to steal your buffs. So that's one reason to put him on protection in the end game build. So this means I can use this champion in the arena. He'll be doing AoE freeze. He'll be making buffs that cannot be stolen. He'll be tanky enough to stay alive. So I don't want to use him in the arena. Don't think I put him in protection set because of the arena. I put him in protection set because I've not used this set on anybody in particular. I've also been seeing some other builds for other content creators put him in protection and other builds. So that I was like, let me try this on him and see if it works out. If I don't like it, I'll change it, as we're about to find out in battle today. So this set doesn't really help him in any way. It helps the allies basically. So it does give him some speed, 12% speed, more chance of placing protected buff, 12% speed again. So it's not a slow champion. It gives him resist and HP also. Definitely not a slow champion. If you want to go extreme, you can even go right here, add extra 20 resistance and 8 more speed, and then 75% chance of placing protected buff when you have 9. Complete the accessories, protection accessories right here. I don't think I want to do that to reduce my stats. So that's why I didn't give him protection accessories. Let me not hype protection too much because I've not tested it out to see what it can do for me. But let me talk about some other artifact sets that are useful for this champion in the end game. Obviously, any champion that needs this high amount of defense or needs to be this tanky, some people just going to put him in a what do you call this, stone skin set and put him in the arena. Usually we'll see this stone skin champions cannot be easily killed, but that artifact set is not good for PvE content. I feel like he's more of a PvE champion. That's why you see some people going full speed. Let's say you want to use him in the Fire Knight. You want that A1 triple hit on that A1. You want that freeze. That's the only thing that is important to you. That Fire Knight hard mode 10 freeze. You need this champion as fast as possible. I'll show you an example of maybe my Gnot or my other, is it Razovag? There are other champions like that who you just want that speed from them. You don't care about their other stats. So I think speed cannot be a difficult set for anybody to get in that late game where you just wanting to be super fast to use that A1 again and again and again. And if speed is not your way of going, you can always go with relentless and use that A1 again and again. Basically, once you place that freeze on that A1, the Fire Knight stun meter keeps staying down. It's like an alloy in some way. If you put him in a relentless set, and he can take multiple turns with that A1, if you get that chance of extra turn by how many percent? 18% chance of getting an extra turn. So this can also be a viable way for those players building this champion for Fire Knight hard. I already have a Gnot using only A1s. Imagine a Gnot using A1s in the Fire Knight. So I'm not going to use this champion in the Fire Knight. So I'll test both of them out to see if they can help each other out in the Fire Knight in this video. So all right, so which other end game set? This is not a damage dealer, so I'm not even gonna recommend Savage or any damage dealing set. Lethal, no, forget about it. He's definitely not a damage dealer, but I know some people will still need to give him some damage masteries, but I am not gonna do that for him. He has only one skill that has AoE, so he's definitely not a candidate to place stun, although people put stun and freeze sometimes together, but he's not like a this other freeze champion like they usually do. But he's not going to be one champion for that. What other artifacts set do you think would be best on him? I don't know. I'm just recommending some basic ones that I know you cannot go wrong with. I went protection because of the buffs that I don't want to be stolen, not just in Hydra, but also in PvP content where people just take off all your buffs. When they are protected, they cannot be removed. All right, those are some early game sets. There are some more advanced sets like Bolster, Defiant, Impulse, all these and newer sets that are coming in right here, which I cannot even recommend right now. Save it for some other people who are more important in your team. I don't think he requires them. Guardian is one that you also need on an ally protection champion who is very, very tanky. I've seen that. Is she still in Guardian? My Osoga. Yes, so she's also a tanky champion like that. So she's a similar champion. Ally protection, you usually see them in a Guardian set. Definitely this is one way to go. This is a pure and defensive build right here. Guardian is the best one, but I don't have a lot of good Guardian because I don't save a lot of it. It's hard to get. It's not an easy set to get good ones for, at least. All right, now that we are done with the artifact recommendations, let me see some other masteries. What masteries did I put on him? Since he's not a damage dealer, I did not go towards the offense tree. I did not get War Master for him. If you're going to use this champion for the clan boss, if you're an early game player, check out El Hate's website. He has the other masteries that you can use for general PvE content that you can use in the clan boss that gets you War Master. This one, I just wanted it to come in right here with timely intervention. Some might say he requires this Eagle Eye instead for that freeze, AoE freeze and A1 freeze, but I was like, I can reach that with artifacts. If your artifacts cannot reach this accuracy requirement, you might want to go with timely intervention. So I just went with this one instead because my artifact can reach enough accuracy to get him that Fire Knight A1 speed sprees going for him. So that's a meter feel for him when somebody is going down. What is it going to do when they're going down? Ally protection and increase defense, obviously. All right, so with some defensive stats right here. These are from El Hate's website. Check them out right here to see some other recommendations. Always read the masteries to see whether they suit your need. For example, if you're going to be using this champion in content like the new Corset City, especially maybe the boss, there are some bosses who don't want Cycle of Magic, so take note of that. I didn't want to set it on that right now because I'm not sure it's going to be useful for that boss, but I'm seeing him coming up a lot in that content. That's one reason why I abuse him. Not really for Fire Knight or for Hydra, to be sincere. All right, now it's time for us to take this champion for a spin, but let's first of all see he has Brimstone Blessing. I've talked about his masteries, his artifacts recommendations. Let's see his total stats. Total stats, HP close to 70k, defense close to 5k. I would have loved 5k defense, but it's fine. His speed is not slow. He's above 265. I tried to make him faster than the Fire Knight had 10 boss, who is about 250 or 251, I think so. So I try to make it around that range so he's not so slow that the Fire Knight had 10 goes before him. You don't want that. So I wanted him to be in line with that, so he can always go before the Fire Knight 10 boss goes. He has 100% crit for some dumb reason and 140% crit damage. So that's going to help him, I guess. Resistance not high, but good enough. 298 accuracy is amazing. If I select this Fire Knight castle, it's going up to a 322 accuracy right here, which should be enough for me to land my freeze consistently. Check out the Fire Knight had 10 stats before you make your accuracy. Don't build 322 accuracy if you're going to use this champion in clan boss. That's what I'm trying to say. You just need about what, 120, 150, 160, I forget. Check it out to know how much accuracy you need according to the content you are trying to beat. I feel like this is enough to place that freeze on the A1 consistently on the wave and on the boss. All right, have I delayed enough? All right, if I explain everything, let's fight some battles. The first content I'll take this champion into is obviously going to be the dungeons, because I want to see him helping me in wave content, because that's where we want to see it happen. Let me try wave 20 before we go hard mode. I just want to see what it does for the allies, at least for the allies, what it does for the team. This is negative affinity for 20. He is also negative affinity for 20. So let me put him to the higher stage instead. Let's go to 25 instead. Here is going to be the positive affinity. So instead of a tanky champion like this keeping us alive, that is the role of this champion, right? In this team, keeping us alive. Everybody here is squishy. You can agree with me. So I'll take out the big damage dealer and take out this one and let him be the MVP right here. Obviously, he's not going to be in the lead. Let's test him out with some other easily obtainable champions like epics only. How about that? Let's leave legendaries aside. That's the wrong filter. Epics, that's the color. All right. I want to go with my normal decrease defense and weaken champions. I want to go with my poisoner as usual. Venomage or whoever you have as a poisoner. That's basically what you need. Let me put in squishy champions who I know could easily die, like an Amiga. And where's my Amiga? Is it still 50 or 60? That's it. Not a, let me put in some rares which I know will go down easily. I want them to take some damage, see if he's gonna be able to keep them alive, sustain them. We have an apothecary. I don't need a healer. Okay, let me put in a squishy cold hearts. Here's my first cold hearts. This is the second one. I can't find the first one. Let me just add this first one. She doesn't do much damage. And here's Omega. Uncommon. Oh, that's the first cold heart I was looking for. And an Amiga just to be squishy enough. So is this champion gonna help him stay alive? No, let me go. Right now you see it's not a good dragon team. Obviously I just bring a poisoner and I want to see how much damage this entire team will do. If I take out the poisoner, we'll be able to take some damage. If I take out this champion, I don't want us to just nuke them down so fast. I want him to at least help us a little bit, do some work, right? Let's do it like this. More squishy the better. This is stage 25. Remember, I want to see if he's gonna keep them alive. I just want people to die. He doesn't have a revive, or I just want people to be able to take some damage. Let me see how good he is in his ally protection duties, especially. Let's put it on slow speed. That's what he started the battle with. He's protecting everybody right now. They'll do their skills, try to do some damage on the enemies, obviously. But let me see. The next skill he's going with is the freeze. Everybody freeze. Don't move. Don't touch my allies. That's what he's saying. So with this, with the allied protection and the freeze, you're safe for at least one turn. But check out, the allied protection is getting back for him to use it again. Hopefully. He's about to use it, or is it A1 again? Allied protection again. So the enemies have no chance, although he's high enough speed to take 2 laps per this enemy's 1 lap, because he's 260 something speed. I think these enemies are at 100 speed also. That's why he's running laps right around them right now. It feels like they are never going to get a turn with him right here in the team. I'm glad I didn't bring in some other crazy nukers right here, because you're seeing it live. He is keeping our enemies from taking any damage this entire time. AoE freeze is crazy. If they do take damage, allied protection, and we are not even taking any damage because the A1 freeze is being used. The A3 freeze is being used. Or is it the A3 or the A2 that has the freeze? I forget which one. But we're totally safe. I brought in some champions who are doing 0 damage right here, but that's the AoE freeze again. Or that's the A1 freeze. The A1 freeze is actually 3 randoms. He spreads it across. It's not just 1 person 3 times. He spreads it across. Another AoE allied protection. Let me see. He's about to use the AoE freeze for everybody now. That's it. Everybody gets frozen. And because this is the right affinity, they are force. He is spirit. That's why he's always landing it. Against magic affinity, obviously, he's not always going to land a freeze every time. So that's a very, very good example. This is how it's going to work for every wave content. And if I've shown you this content right now, I guess we can move on to the Fire Knight boss and see what he can do against the Fire Knight boss. This guy is already impressing me. So let me end it right here. Against the dragon, obviously, it's not going to help. Right there, you just need your poisoner to be able to take him down. Why he places allied protection on your poisoner, on all that good stuff. So let me take up to the next bigger content, which is going to be Fire Knight hard mode, which a lot of people want to use this champion for. Hard mode 10. This is the current team I use right here. This champion, like I was talking about, a very fast Razzle Vag. And Who is doing freeze right here? A1 freeze. A1 freeze. Ally attack, ally attack. So he can replace any of these freeze champions. He can replace Gnot. He can also replace this champion, especially the Yakar. But most people leave Yakal in the battle because of this decreased speed. Yakal is good for this decreased speed. If you don't land decreased speed on the Fire Knight hard 10 boss, he will most likely get a turn. Yes, so against the wave, I guess he is good to replace Yakal, but against the boss, I don't think he's good to replace Yakal. He also doesn't have a speed aura to replace Razorvac. So who is going to replace? I think Gnot. Now, why am I replacing Gnot in this team is because on my own team, Gnot does not use his big nukes, at least for hard 10 mode. You can see how I set Gnot on the boss mode to never use his big nukes. So Gnot is basically an A1 bot doing his A1, A1, A1. That's what he's doing for me. But I'll tell you, Gnot helps against the wave because he's allowed to use his big nukes against the wave. So just for sake of speed, let's not waste too much time. I'm going to try it on Fire Knight hard 5 instead, where I know decreased speed will not be needed, right? Let me try it on Fire Knight hard 5. And I'll take out this champion and put in him. So here right now, the way I set it, Gnot will use his big nukes against the boss. So, but I still need to do it in team presets, else something will go wrong. Let me set it in team presets and put it up again. Let's go. Fire Knight. Where is it? Fire Knight hard. There it is. So let me take him out and add him. While I let Gnot, because we will need some damage against that boss. I'll let Gnot use his big nukes. This one. No, not first choice. Default. So he'll start with the A1 obviously, and then he can use. Why am I letting him use it? Because this champion, the best thing for me to do in this battle is to only let him use his A1 against the boss. I don't need ally protection. I don't need your AoE freeze over here. I just need your A1s. This might be a good strategy for you to go right there, because all the other skills doesn't really help you much, do they? Let's check again to see if the AoE freeze helps him. It decreases the turn meter of enemies by 30%. So this won't work on the Fire Knight hard mode. So the freeze is the only thing that will decrease the turn meter. Against the normal boss, you have to let that skill, the A3 at least, be used. All right, we're going in for the battle. Hopefully it's a success. Let's see what he does in the wave. Hopefully he can do the same thing he did to the dragon wave. He's the only AoE freeze champion we have right now. But guess what? He might not start the battle with the AoE freeze. Damn. That's something I should have set. I don't want the ally protection. I want this one first. That's the safest thing to do. You want to set him to always start the battle with that A3. I forgot to do that. So maybe it's something we'll have to edit in the team presets. Let's go. All right, I think I can fast forward this stage. Let's just fight this first battle and head straight to the boss. I'll come back when we're at the boss. All right, down to my last enemy on this wave 2 of the Fire Knight hard 5. And the run was a lot slower because we did not have Yakar in here. Yakar used to contribute to the damage of the wave. He is not contributing to the damage of the wave. All right, let me put it on slow. And let's see. The first turn is going to be taken by Razorvac, bringing the boss shield down to 15. The next turn is my ally protection champions. Well, the ally joint attack champions, I mean. Razorvac is taking 2 turns. Damn, so fast. And that's my ally attack champions going in. And he is going in. He added 3 hits right here. He added 3 hits. That's the purpose why he's there. And my Gnot can do his big nukes. That's it. Turn meter reduced. Gnot is still using A1s. Because I told him to start the battle with A1s. Now I did tell this champion to only use his A3, right? Is contributing A1 damage too. We don't have slow speed right here because this is stage 5, no problem. I'm waiting for Gnot to do his big nukes. I'm also waiting for decrease difference from what do you call this champion right now. We're still doing big nukes, no problem. Even without decrease difference, we're still hitting, but not as hard as I'd love to. That's a weaken has been added. Decrease defense? No. You got poisons and HP burn. We are looking for this champion to do his A1 again because that's the only thing we told him to do. Blizzard, come on, take a turn. And let this turn meter reduce. Not by a lot though. I thought it's just going to go down so fast. But we have ally attack champions to bring it down back and it contributes to the hit. I don't know, does Gnot do it better? Yes, obviously Gnot does it better. Check out what Gnot just did and it went so far back. He's going to do it again, A1. Gnot does it better, but if you do not have a Gnot, this champion is going to help with that A1 that just decreases the turn meter of the boss, obviously. So if you have a better understanding of how this team works, you can scale it according to the stage. It doesn't matter where you're doing stage 5, stage 6, stage 7, up to stage 10. You just have to be aware of your champion stats and what is making you fail and where it's failing. So Gnot is going to end the battle for us because if you do not bring a damage dealer in here, it's going to be a longer run. So whether it's going to be your Yakar, some people use their Razorvag as the main damage dealer. I've seen him. My Razorvag is not my main damage dealer. Gnot is. Now, if I don't have a Gnot, I'll probably make my Razorvag more, a hard hitter. So that's Fire Knight's hard 5 works the same way or slight differences in the higher stages. I didn't want it to fail. That's why I didn't fight the higher stages, because in my own stage 10, if I don't have a decreased speed on the boss gets a turn and I don't want that. So some Fire Knight teams will allow the boss actually take a turn. Mine doesn't let the boss take a turn at all. And once we get there, we take his shield down, we keep it down with the help of this A1 freezes that we have from 2 champions and coming in from our ally, 2 ally attack champions also. All right, I think, do we need to show this champion off a little bit in the Hydra or any content, or this is okay? I think this is enough showcase for this champion. In dungeons, that's where he's belong. I'll just go to the arena to fight a few battles to see if he's going to work in a tanky team right there, because he has a protected buff. So we can try out 1 or 2 arena battles with some people that would love to remove our buffs. Where are they? If I can find somebody that would love to remove buffs, that's UDK. Right? No, what's his name? Wukong. Some Wukong likes to remove buffs for some weird reason. So let's go against him with a team like this. We already have our damage dealer right there. Yes. Let me take out this and add our dude. Tank, and 1 damage dealer. I feel like he goes better in a, what do you call it now? In a go second team. So they will go first, obviously. Hopefully they don't nuke him down. And let's see what will happen when he finally place a buffs. We'll have a cleanser, right? Yes, we do, because they will remove the buffs. He has not done anything yet. Where's our cleanser? He's gonna freeze them. All right, let's freeze them. No problem. Let's freeze them. Everybody freeze while I cleanse myself. Did he just get nuked? Almost. Okay, she has protected buffs and everything. That's why we could not take her down. Do I nuke them or do I let them get another chance to kill me? Let's nuke. I just wanted to show a sample battle. I don't want them to get any ideas or kill me. All right, that's our buffs. Increased defense is protected on 2 champions at least. The ally protection was not protected. I don't think that's placed by him. He got shipped. Not enough high resistance, he got shipped. We keep killing the wrong person, I know. But let's keep going and see what happens. This champion ignores a bunch of buffs. I mean, she ignores a bunch of buffs. Let me kill this ally attack protect champion. He survived it. No, he survived that hit. Nice. Did he just do his A1 and reduce her own buff stun meter? I don't think so. I want UDK to remove my buffs again. Or let me freeze her. Nope, she got smite instead. I keep calling Sun Wukong UDK. Alright, let's end it before they get any ideas. Just a sample battle run right here. I don't feel like he's a good PvP champion, but I guess some people can find a use for him, especially against freeze champions like Torment. Can I find a torment thing that will freeze me and see what happens? And they freeze me, what happens? He's gonna remove it and put it back on them, I guess. Let's see against this team. Because they say he freeze me, he put it back on you. If you put a bunch of fear on him, what happens when he gets fears? He just removed it. He shouldn't have. And this champion also got stunned, which I don't want to happen, but it's all working for good in our favor, and we'll freeze them all right now. And they did all their best. They couldn't take us down. It's time for us to do our best and take them down. Nope. When the enemies have freeze, you do less damage, far less damage. But hey, UDK was there to also protect them a bit. I want to kill the arbiter first. Provoke. What is it going to do when the allies have provoke on them? I thought the passive says something about that. Let's see the passive. Or did it go on cooldown? Whenever an enemy tries to place freeze, whenever this champion is killed. Okay, he has not been killed yet though. Let's let him go down and see if it happens. They are freezing my allies and he's getting away with it. Their main damage dealer keep being slept, so I don't think we're gonna get killed in this battle. All right, can we end it? Nope, almost. So tank, one damage dealer. It seems like it's going according to plan. And even my own damage dealer is also very tanky, so it's a fight of the tanks. Tanks against tanks, and my tank seems to be winning this battle because their main damage dealer has gone down finally. Would have loved to see him get frozen and put it back, but it's so fast you might not even realize it happening since it's a passive and it's on a 3-turn cooldown, so it's not happening every turn. So, like I said, I don't intend to use him on PvP. I just wanted to showcase what a sample team could be like for PvP, to make you know that he's not just going to be used only in PvE content. So if you find this champion in arena teams, be careful. He will freeze you. He will place ally protection on his allies and make it difficult for you to, take him down. If he goes down, he will come back to life. All right, that's my champion guide for Blizaar the Howler. Hopefully it was informative, insightful or something. If I made any mistakes, always correct me in the comments below. And yeah, let me know how you built yours and where you use him, because right now, as I tell you, I only built him to be used in the Cursed City. There are a lot of content that requires his attention. Well, not this one. I just checked one recently right here that has a key and is one of the champions that can take it down. There it is. So most Cursed City battles will need him to be an MVP right here. And yes, I will freeze the bombs. I will freeze the side ads, and he will take it down. Do we have time to fight this battle? I don't think so. This is almost going to a 40 minutes video. I wanted to make this one as informative as possible. I didn't want to rush through it because this is not a champion I have full knowledge about. This is one of the first or second time I'm looking at his skills, and I wanted to test him out. This is my first battles I'm doing with him since I built him, so you guys get to enjoy it with me and see how it works. So I'll be glad to take him into this content and testing out in more content, and maybe I'll find new ways to use him in more teams than just these ones I showed you. Let me know where you use this champion, like I said, and how you built him, which artifact sets do you have on him and all that. So I look forward to your comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe and tell me which champion you want me to take a detailed look at next. I'll be glad to do it for you. Later guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It helps a great deal.